Let's go. Look, we're back one more time. Look, and I got something special for you today. We're going to talk about your uniqueness. We're going to talk about how unique you are. Look, it's 8 billion people on this planet, and there's no one like you. And I know you know that already, but we're going to dive into how this is a power key and how it can unlock your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations. And you can see those face to face. Before we unload, unpack, unlock, and unveil every attribute and ability you possess for success, we got to jump into the definition of what uniqueness is or what unique is. So, being unique is being the only one of its kind, unlike anything or anyone else. I don't know about you, but that right there alone tells me how valuable I am to the world. How valuable I am to the world because when I see a definition use communications that are absolute, words that are absolute, the word only is an absolute word, right? There's nothing like it. Like there's none other. It's singular. Like there's nothing else in comparison. Not one thing in comparison to you. Yeah. So in this book, in my book, 28 Power Keys to Success, I talk about how we can come from the same background. We can have common experiences. We can have the same education. We can go learn and study the same things. But what makes me valuable is my unique perspective. This is the thing. There is absolutely no way anybody can see things from your perspective. No way, unless you give it to them. That's the only way. And this is why it's so important because look, we can go through some of the same things, we can experience some of the same things, or we can experience the identical thing, same exact things, but the way I internalize it is going to be completely different because what happens is I have a different vantage point. You hear me talk about all this all the time. I say it on my videos all the time. I'm telling you that I'm going to give you my piece of the pie, my perspective, my insight, and my imagination. And let me tell you something, because you are unique, your perspective, your insight, and imagination makes you extremely valued. I'm talking about this world don't understand how much value you possess. The only way we can actually understand that is if you provide that. Like, I can't get your perspective unless you provide that. I can't get your insight unless you provide that. I can't get your imagination unless you provide that. And that's how valuable you are. That's how unique you are. And that's how unique each and every one of us are on this planet. On this planet. And, I tell people all the time, your uniqueness is the volume of your value. You see what I'm saying? Your uniqueness is the volume of your value. It screams out into your success. Because of how unique I am, it screams out. It causes me to stand out. It causes me to stand out because I'm that unique. I'm so different. And even though individuals may do some of the same things, and we may have some of the same mannerisms, and we may use some of the same verbiage, I am completely different. I am the only one of my kind. You see what I'm saying? I'm the only one. I'm the only one. Like, even though I'm a junior, you see what I'm saying? I'm the only me. There's no other me anywhere on this earth, and there never will be again. And that's what makes me valuable. And you got to value yourself in that same, like at that same level, in the same standards. Like, you have to value yourself in that capacity. Why? Because if you don't value yourself in that capacity, other people just look at you like you're nothing. Like, I walk around with this value in my heart, knowing that I can add value to anybody that I walk around, any environment that I come into. I can add value because I have a perspective, insight, and imagination that other people do not have. Other people do not have. Let me give you a little reason why individuals like to tap into your piece of the pie. Like, this is your uniqueness, and the only way people can actually identify, extract your piece of the pie is by your willingness to give it, right? And what people have done, I've worked in retail, in management, and all these other things within Fortune 500 companies, right? And what happened was we started using surveys, and surveys were means of acquiring people's pie. their perspective, their insight, and their imagination. And what we did, right, we got all this data and we collected this data and we started making decisions based on the perspective, the insight, and the imagination of each and every individual who did these surveys. Do you know you are the reason why we have self-checkouts? You know what I'm saying? And now the same individuals who are the reason why we have self-checkouts are complaining that we have self-checkouts. You gave your pie to these organizations. It was a free market analysis, and you told them, hey, listen, this is what's going on. This is what we're looking for. This is why things are the way they are. I don't like people touching my money. I don't like people seeing my credit card number. I don't like people seeing my check numbers. There's a lot of theft going on. I would be better just checking myself out. It's much quicker. We said a whole lot of different things, and people took that in. These people with these business mind, you know what? Hey, you know what? Let's make a self-checkout with this data. And not only did we give them this information where they made this adjustment that made them a lot of money, but it hit their bottom line in a very effective way. How, Isaiah? How? Well, the most controllable expense is labor. And so if there's a cashier, there's labor. But if there isn't a cashier, there's no labor. And now you're your own cashier. That's the value of your perspective, your insight, and imagination. And we literally increase the profitability of every organization who has made the assessment and already understand the data. I know what took place. I know why it's like it is. It's because of you. And you got to remember that. Like, I'm making impact in this world, like massive impact in this world because of my perspective, my insight, and imagination. You wonder why they're willing to give you free food. You're wondering why they're willing to give you free gift cards. You're wondering why they're willing to give you all this free stuff for you to fill out a survey. You're wondering why. Like, I'm collecting the data. I'm understanding my customer and what they want. I get the analysis. I utilize that information to make an adjustment to deeper the relationship and to buy in on loyalty. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, but this is what's happening. And this is how valuable you are. And I say that so you can understand exactly the impact that you're making on the world right now. Like, these individuals are not making pivots in their businesses for themselves. They're doing it for you. They're doing it because of you, because of the assessment, the information that they're getting back from your perspective, your insight, and imagination. You are extremely valuable. Let me tell you something about being unique. When you're unique, you're rare. And when you're rare, you're valuable. Okay? So you are so rare that there's no one else like you. I tell you this, but I feel like I have to tell you this because I need you to conduct yourself in that manner. I need you to, like, a lot of people say, hey, you're replaceable. A lot of businesses say, hey, you're replaceable. Well, you're not. They may replace a position, right? They may put somebody else in that position, but they can't replace you. No one can replace you. You see what I'm saying? You're that valuable. And so I wrote this book, 28 Power Keys to Success, so we can really understand how to access our value and also our perspective, our insight, and our imagination. When I look at the definition, it's one of the only definitions I see that use the word, this definitive word only, right? And I was like, man, I said, that's my word right there. Unique is my word, because it's so powerful. And I tell people this all the time as well, is that one, your uniqueness is the volume of your value, but your uniqueness is your royalty. You gotta put that crown on. And what I'm saying is you gotta change the way you think about yourself. When you understand how unique you are and how rare you are and how much value you add to any environment, situation, and circumstance you're in, you have just took on your kingship, your queenship. You just put your royalty on. And that royalty is loud. Like, that royalty, it stands out. it makes me beat on my chest. I get excited about it. Why? Because I understand the impact. I understand the impact, and I want you to understand the impact that you have internally and externally on individuals, organizations, your environment, your community, all those different things, because you're bringing something that no one has. No one has. Well, Isaiah, what about, those ideas? Man, ideas are ideas and they spark interest in different places. But I'm telling you, even if we come up with the same idea, the perspective is different. I'm telling you. And that's what's valuable. I during the time I was getting my master's degree in business administration, we had a group for our capstone assignment. We had a group of individuals and we sat down and we built and designed this marketplace product. And we had this product and we had all of our different positions and we had to sit there and facilitate our different positions. But when we put it all together, we created a business that was so successful that we came out of all of the individuals in our MBA program, number one in this simulation, in this marketplace. Number one. And why? It's because we valued each other's opinions. We valued each other's perspective, their insight, and their imaginations. We use that to support. We use that to support our product the same way these organizations are doing today. And that became the most successful thing. And we were the trendsetters. People were chasing our trend. They were chasing our decisions. And let me tell you something, nobody can get that unless you give it. So one, I like the idea of monetizing my pie. You know what I'm saying? I should get paid for this. And you can get paid for this. I tell people this all the time. I'm a motivational speaker. When I get on stage, I share my piece of the pie. That's what I get paid for. And I do it so effectively that it changes individuals' perspectives, their paradigms, so they can actually do the same thing and make a larger impact in their organization, a larger impact in their family, a larger impact in their communities, a larger impact in their personal lives and finances. You see what I'm saying? And that's exactly what this uniqueness that you possess does for you. It does it for you. And so what we really got to do is get out of our own way. One thing I realized, and I talk about it in the book, is that, a lot of people were able to identify our uniqueness before we were. They were able to, what they did, they called us weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you weird. They called you peculiar. You're different. They use all different types of words. Some of them not so positive, right? But they use all different types of words. But they were identifying an attribute and ability about you that they didn't possess. And it was odd. And some of them were afraid of it. And some people benefited from it, right? And some people are taking advantage of it. It's funny that organizations, they can understand that you have this acute uniqueness that no one else possesses, and they'll bring you into their company and they'll pay you all this money that's not even equal to your value. But we value ourselves at this level, right? So I was talking to, I was on a podcast today, and I was telling them about this video I saw of this gentleman who said, you trade your time for $20 an hour, right? You trade your time for $20 an hour, but they guarantee you, I can guarantee you that $20 an hour that they're giving you is definitely not equivalent to the. And the reason why is because if they were paying you $20 an hour on the equivalent basis, right? They're not making any money. They're not growing their business. But because they see the value that you possess, they give you the $20 an hour and they give you the 50 cents a year to keep you there, to continue to grow their organization. And look, I have a personal experience with that. Helping an organization generate $80 million a year. $80 million a year. And I wasn't making near that sum. You see what I'm saying? And so I had to make an adjustment. I had to value me enough to make an adjustment to say, hey, look, I'm worth more than that. I'm worth more than that. And it's not a selfish thing in a sense where I'm being negative. It's a selfish thing in a sense where I'm concerned about me. I remember Earl Nightingale, he talks about the ego. And then they say the ego is simply things concerning yourself. And so when we're talking about selfishness, we're talking about things concerning ourselves. And who doesn't? Like, let's be honest, who do not think about the things concerning themselves, right? So You got to be selfish to be selfless. I talk about that in one of my books. You got to be selfish to be selfless. You got to develop yourself. You got to utilize your talents and skills. That way you can make the largest impact in the lives of the individuals that you love and care about. You see what I'm saying? And we talk about self all the time, self-development, self-esteem, self-love, self-help. It's everywhere until you start working on yourself and they like you selfish. And like, man, get off of it. Get off of it. Because I know my purpose. I'm unique. I have this value. I'm going to cultivate this value. I'm going to make the largest impact I can while I'm right here on this earth. Look, if you're looking to develop yourself, if you're looking to see your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations face to face, you got to unload, unpack, unlock, and unveil every attribute and ability that you already possess for success. Utilize your uniqueness. Get the 28 power keys to success. Implement this information. Expand your perspective, your insight, and your imagination. Like, connect to my piece of the pie. Expand, grow, and see your impact exceed your current situation. Hey, look, I know that the next time I see you or you see my videos, you'll be at the next level. And guess what? I'll see you at the top.